Good morning everyone, welcome to our first collective worship which we filmed especially for you. Just want to say from all three of us, we're really missing you, we can't wait to see you all, but in the meantime, listen to the message that we're going to give you in this collective worship and keep trying hard.
Okay, so this week's theme for collective worship is one we haven't looked at before. It's the theme of truthfulness. And if you're watching this from your classroom, when you walk past the prayer chair, you'll be able to see that our prayer chair has got some top tips about how to be truthful. Now, telling the truth, if you were all sitting in assembly, we'd ask you about how difficult it is to tell the truth. Sometimes it's not an easy decision to do that, especially when you know telling the truth might actually get you in trouble. Like, for example, if you've admitted that you've broken something. Have you ever broken something?
Occasionally.
Occasionally. And maybe sometimes actually telling the truth can be quite hurtful. If you look at someone's hair, if I did it to you, Mrs Clitheroe, and said, oh, your hair doesn't look that great today, Mrs Clitheroe. Maybe you've got hat hair today, you've been out on duty. Actually, being truthful can actually be quite hurtful. Or maybe sometimes it's hard to tell the truth, but it makes you different. Like, if everybody supports, I don't know, Man United, and you like Mr Hawkins, and you have to say, I support Southampton. I suppose somebody has to.
Or the posh, which is my
Right.
team,
Oh,
or
yes.
Aston Villa.
Oh my goodness. For some people, telling the truth can even mean bigger consequences, like being put in prison or something awful. It can be really risky to tell the truth. You have to be a real hero, to be honest. Now, are you ladies ready for a bit of a truth game?
I think we are, definitely.
Okay, so for today's truth game, I've got two Maltesers, one for you, Miss Mulcrone, and one for you, Miss Clitheroe. Hold me tight for a minute, okay?
Now you all know Maltesers are my favourite.
Now, the rules of this game are, when I say go, you have to pop it inside your mouth, and you've got to try and keep it for as long as possible, but you must be honest. As soon as yours has melted and disappeared, you are to raise your hand, and you will lose the game.
That's going to be really hard for me because when I eat Maltesers, I do tend to gulp them down.
Right, well,
I'll try my best.
Slow, but again, honesty, telling the truth.
Okay.
On the count of three, you're going to pop them into your mouth. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Mrs Mulcrone seems to be chewing. That may not be. Can I just tell you why you're waiting? Your prize is this gorgeous, all slowing down now, Mrs Mulcrone, are we? This gorgeous box of biscuits. Thumbs up if you've still got your Malteser. Yeah, Mrs Clitheroe's still got her. Remember, you have to tell the truth. Has yours gone, Mrs Mulcrone?
It has. That means I don't get the biscuits.
I'm sorry, but this time, telling the truth, I said it wasn't going to be easy. Sometimes you end up losing out on something, which makes it quite hard. But Mrs Clitheroe, have you still got yours? Just, I'm going to trust you.
I'm definitely
I'm going to let you eat it now, but you are the winner. Give Miss Clitheroe a round of applause. Well done. Right,
That's really hard, but I'm glad I told the truth. That was very important.
now we're going to look at a story together about how telling the truth can sometimes be really difficult. Now, in the story today, I need a king. Mrs Mulcrone.
I'll be the king.
Perfect.
I need to wear a king's costume, so I've got a lovely cape. It's very
Fantastic.
king-like,
I
and
think it is.
I've got it inside out. Let me just readjust
See
it.
your regal royal gold.
Lots of gold on there, and then I think I also have
Oh, yes.
shiny jangly number here to make myself even more king-like.
Wonderful.
There we go.
Perfect. Got a king for the story, and I'm going to need someone called a prophet. Now, they're going to be called Nathan. I'm afraid by process of elimination, Mrs Clitheroe, that is going to be
I
you.
think that might be me.
And this is a prophet. Yeah, put the costume on.
Special
Special
outfit.
robe. I'm afraid it's not quite as
Special
glamorous
robe.
as Mrs Mulcrone's. Did you notice how she snapped up the glamorous costume? Wonderful.
Heard you like a bit of glitter and gold.
So
Well,
we have a king, we have King David here,
Me.
and we have a prophet called Nathan. And Nathan lived at the same time as King David, and this was about 1,000 years before Jesus was born. Now, an important thing to know here and remember is that prophets always tell the truth in every situation, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's dangerous. even when it means telling really important people that they are wrong. Have a think. Would you like to be a prophet?
I am King David. Most people think I am a brilliant king, but unfortunately I seem to have got myself in a bit of a pickle. I have fallen in love with the wife of one of my army commanders called Uriah.
King David did not know what to do, but eventually he decided to hatch a plan.
How can I get rid of Uriah and marry this woman myself? I know I will send Uriah off to the front line of the battle where the fighting is the fiercest. He will never survive the battle, and then I can marry his wife.
So, King David ordered that Uriah was sent to battle, where you would expect he would unfortunately be killed instantly.
With Uriah gone, I'm now free to take his wife as my own.
Now, King David had once been a good king, but from that evil laugh you can tell things are now not looking so good for him, and he is faced with the fact that he had been really quite dreadful. What he had done really could be called murder, as he had deliberately organised for Uriah to die. Not long after this happened, God sent the prophet Nathan to tell David the truth about what he had done.
I have been sent by God to go and tell King David, the most rich and powerful king, that he has done wrong. I wonder what will happen to me. I expect he will not be pleased. Maybe he will throw me into prison, or perhaps he will even kill me too.
Nathan knew that whatever the risk to himself, King David had to hear the truth. So he told him the truth in a clever way. He used a story.
Your Highness, please let me tell you a story. There were two men in a city. One was rich, but the other was poor. The rich man had many sheep and cattle, but the poor man had nothing but one little female lamb he'd bought. The poor man fed the lamb, and it grew up with him and his children. It shared his food and drank from his cup and slept in his arms. The lamb was like a daughter to him. Then a traveller stopped to visit the rich man. The rich man wanted to feed the traveller, but he didn't want to take one of his own sheep. Instead, he took the lamb that belonged to the poor man, and he cooked it for his visitor.
King David was furious.
That is outrageous. The rich man should die for doing such a terrible thing and pay the poor man back 4 times over.
Then Nathan told the king the truth straight.
King David, you are that man. God says that he gave you great riches and power and many wives of your own, but you killed Uriah and took his wife.
The room fell silent, and everyone wondered what King David would do. What did David do? Did he have Nathan thrown in prison or killed? No, because he was an honest man, even though he had made this one big mistake. Instead, because of Nathan's story, he saw the truth.
Yes, I have sinned against the Lord. I will write down how sorry I am in a prayer to God.
And King David wrote a prayer, which we call a psalm, and God saw how sorry he was for doing such a terrible thing, and God forgave him.
Because the prophet Nathan wasn't afraid of telling the truth, David could be free again. He could be right with God and could carry on being a wise and a good king.
It's good news, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's take a moment to be quiet and think how hard it was for Nathan to tell the truth. Think about Jesus, who told the truth all the time, even when it cost him his life. Think about whether you want to be a hero like them and tell the truth, even when it's really difficult or dangerous.
Now we've got Millie who's going to read a prayer.
Lord, help us to be heroes and to be brave enough to tell the truth. Thank you that the truth always leads to freedom in the end. Amen.
Amen.
Now, we want you to think about the assembly this week, and we want to think about your life and when you're at home and you're working, and are you always telling the truth, even when it can be quite difficult? You have to tell the truth because you know it's going to be the right thing to do. So even if you're struggling with some work or you're cross about something, make sure you're making wise choices this week.
Just like King David did in the end. Now we're going to be popping round to classes this week. We'll pop in and pop out and read you a few stories, so look out for us at various different points.
And then in between time, we hope that